All right, welcome back. Let's see what we got here. So I'm just going to look at the self-managed network, and it might not necessarily be
All right,
a
welcome back to it.
video on that. I haven't read the AI engineer book in probably well over a month. In fact, let's go see. So if we go to playlists and we go to AI engineering. Yeah, part 21 was more than a month ago. So I was enjoying this book, so I would like to get back to reading this. Let's see where we were at in this other series though, because um, it would be nice to make some progress there. Right. So we're setting up a device I don't have. Now I can take a trip to like a Goodwill or something today and look for a thermostat, look for some uh, devices that, yeah, some devices that make sense to automate. The really good one would be the dishwasher or the laundry, the laundry and dryer. Because if you automate the washer, then you just put some soap down on the bottom, which is what the directions of mine say to do, to put the soap in first. And then anytime you have dirty clothes, you just throw it in the wash. And then say you're out and about, now you can start your washer anytime you want. And then when you get home, all you got to do is throw it in the dryer. So you kind of save yourself that step of not having absolute control over when your wash cycle ends. Let me take a look at the plug on that because if it's just as easy as putting it into a smart plug. But the thing is, you have to crank a knob and push a button. Okay, so I think it would fit into my smart plug. I can see the outlet there, but you would have to, man, it would not be pretty. You'd have to, I mean, it could work. It could work for sure. It could work. So you could automate. In fact, I could do that right now because I have plenty of smart plugs laying around. Oh, but I don't have a wireless access point either. So yeah, I got to keep that in mind. If and when I go to the Goodwill, I need a wireless access point, which I might have somewhere here. I'm pretty sure I have one. And then in addition to that, I need uh, a thermostat would be nice, but yeah, it shouldn't cost that much. I mean, I'll just go and look around. Like I have plenty of time today to just kind of use without having to conserve it. All right, so that's the thermostat. I'll probably do it with the washer, but not the dryer. There's no reason to do it for the dryer. Yeah, the washer would make a lot of sense because then any dirty clothes you have, you just go put it in the washer, and then anytime you want the washer to go, you start it on your phone, and then you go home and you time it so that when you get home, the washer's done, and then when you get home or whenever you want, an hour from when you hit that button, all you have to do is put it into the dryer. Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense to automate the washer. Let me try that. All right, yeah, here's a smart plug. Oh, right, but I keep forgetting I need an access point to put on my. I don't have that. Um, Yeah, I just don't have an access point. I don't even. I have a bunch of Raspberry Pis. I don't even think I can turn on. I have a Wi-Fi dongle and a Raspberry Pi, but I'm not sure if I can turn that into an access point. Let's ask the AI. Hey, so I'm setting up a sovereign cloud for my home network, and I need a wireless access point for my local area network. Now the internet service provider sent me a combo device, so I have wireless on there, but I can't just use that because it's outside of my local area network. It's on its own local area network. So I need to plug in a wireless access point to my Switch. Now, here's my question for you. I have two Raspberry Pis and I have a dongle for Wi-Fi. Is that enough to set up a wireless access point that will plug into for example, like an iHome smart plug, or do I need a different equipment than that?
Hey, so using a Raspberry Pi with a Wi-Fi dongle as an access point can work, but it might not give you the best performance. If you're just connecting a few devices, like smart plugs, it could be fine. But for a more reliable and stable connection, a dedicated wireless access point would be a better choice. Have you considered any specific brands or models?
Well, what I was planning to do is to just make a trip over to like Goodwill or something and just see like what they have because I don't need like the latest and greatest, right?
Got it. If you're looking for something budget friendly, checking out a thrift store could be a good move. Just make sure whatever you find supports the features you need, like dual band if you've got a mix of 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz devices. And it might help to do a quick check online for any model you find to see if it's still supported or has any known issues.
Well, the thing is, my smart plugs only run on 2.4.
In that case, a single band 2.4 gigahertz access point should work just fine. You'll probably find plenty of options that fit the bill at a thrift store. Just ensure it's in good condition and has the appropriate ports for your setup.
Are you sure the Raspberry Pi isn't a good option? Like I have a TP-Link high gain TLWN722N.
The Raspberry Pi with the TP-Link TLWN722N can work as an access point, but the performance might not be as strong as a dedicated device. If you only need to support a few smart plugs, it should be sufficient. Just keep in mind that setting it up might require some configuration in Raspbian or a similar OS. If you're comfortable with a bit of tinkering, it can definitely be a viable solution.
Yeah, I only need to run a few smart plugs on it, and believe me, I am comfortable with a little bit of tinkering.
Perfect. In that case, setting up the Pi with a Wi-Fi dongle sounds like a fun project. There are plenty of guides online to help you configure it as an access point. Just make sure you've got all the software updates, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, my main thing is I just don't want to have to buy anything, especially like if I already have an adequate solution.
Totally makes sense. Using what you already have is a great approach. Plus, it'll be satisfying to get everything running smoothly with the Raspberry Pi. If you run into any snags, just give me a shout.
Well, first snag is I think I'm out of Ethernet cables.
Ah, that's a minor hiccup. You could either repurpose some cables from other devices or pick some up on your thrift store trip. Either way, it's a quick fix.
You think they'll have them at the thrift store?
There's a good chance. Thrift stores often have random cables lying around. If not, you could always check a local electronics store for a cheap solution.
Yeah, cables aren't expensive at all, are they?
Nope, they're usually pretty affordable. And even if you have to buy one, it won't break the bank. Just grab what you need and you'll be all set.
All right, well, I found one.
Awesome. Now you're all set to start setting up your access point. If you run into any issues during the setup, just let me know.
Okay, so Okay, so I've got my wireless dongle, I've got my Raspberry Pi, I've got my my RJ45 to plug it into my network. So now all I need is a SD card formatted for Raspbian, and then a power cable.
Exactly. Once you've got the SD card with Raspbian and a power supply, you're ready to roll. Just follow a guide to configure the Pi as an access point, and you'll have your smart plugs connected in no time.
All right, I'm looking for the power cable next. That would be a good next step.
Yep, that's the plan. Once you've got everything connected, just power it up and start configuring. If you need any tips along the way, I'm here to help.
Well, can you search for my power cable for me? Oh, you can? It's in my house. You don't have to. I'm not gonna buy one. I have one laying around my house.
Gotcha. If it's in your house, just check around spots where you usually keep your electronics for cables. Maybe a drawer or box where you store chargers. It's probably tucked away somewhere nearby.
Okay, I found the right cable.
Great, sounds like you're all set. Now you can get your Raspberry Pi powered up and start the setup. Excited to see how it goes.
All right. Well, let's see if this thing can get power. Because if it can't get any power, then it's dead. And I have two of them, so if it can't get any power, I'll just use the other one.
Good plan. It's always handy to have a backup. Let's see if it powers up. Fingers crossed.
Well, first big problem here. I can't get the cable to plug in.
Hmm. Check if the port or the cable end is damaged or obstructed. Sometimes a little wiggle or trying a different angle helps. If it's still not fitting, the second Pi might come in handy.
Yeah, that's a good point. I could switch to the second Pi, even if, and the second Pi is more powerful.
That's a bonus. If the second Pi has more power, it might handle the access point duties even better. Switching to that one could be a good call.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna use the second Pi.
Sounds like a solid plan. Hopefully this one plugs in smoothly. Let's see how it goes.
This one gets USB-C power as well.
Great. USB-C is usually pretty reliable. Once it's plugged in, you should see some lights or signs of life. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, the second one is going to be a lot better for this project.
Awesome. With the second Pi running, you should have a smoother experience. Now, on to the fun part, configuring it as an access point.
Yeah, the other good news with this second one is I already have a card in it.
Nice. That saves you a step. With the card already in, you're ready to get started on the setup. Everything's falling into place.
I think it's already got an IP address on it too. I mean, I'll probably have to take the card out though.
If it's already got an OS and an IP address, you might just need to tweak a few settings. But if you'd rather start fresh, popping the card out and reformatting is easy enough. Either way, you're close to getting it up and running.
Yeah, this will be good. And then I've got a bunch of smart plugs, so I can hook it up to my smart plugs, and then I can control my smart plugs remotely over my phone.
Exactly. Once the Pi is set up as an access point, connecting your smart plugs and controlling them remotely will be a breeze. You're on the right track.
The other thing that I can do, so the first thing I want to automate is the washer. I want to put the washer on a smart plug, and then I want to establish a habit where all my dirty clothes go directly in the washer. And then I'll just leave some some soap on the bottom of it, and then I'll leave it. I'll basically turn it on, then unplug it, then plug it into an off smart plug, and then whenever I want to start it, I'll hit the start button on my phone, and then oh, um, well, hold on a second. I've got a lot of blood on my pants.
Automating your washer is a cool idea. Just be cautious with the soap, since it might clump if it's left sitting. Maybe a detergent pod could work well for that. And definitely ensure everything's safe and stable with the smart plug setup. Sounds like a solid plan overall.
Oh, that's a really good idea. A laundry detergent pod. Yeah, that would work much better.
Glad you like it. Pods are super convenient and less messy. Once you've got the smart plug set up, starting a load of laundry from your phone will be a breeze.
Yeah, I think this is the first thing I want to automate. The guide I'm using says to automate your thermostat first, but like I'd have to buy a thermostat. Like I'm all about like using what you already have. Like that's my big thing is like, renew, reuse, recycle.
I love that approach. Automating your washer first makes total sense, especially since you've already got everything you need. It's a great way to start your smart home journey.
Perfect. Yeah, so perfect. Everything is falling into place. All I need to do is set up my Raspberry Pi, which I can do right now on my PF Sense. I can go in and look at what is plugged into my PF Sense, and the Raspberry Pi might show up.
Sounds like a plan. Checking pfSense for the Pi's IP address will help you get everything configured. Once you're in, you'll be able to set up the access point. You're making great progress.
All right, I'm back and I'm logged into my PF Sense. So now I go to diagnostics, ARP, I think.
Yep, checking the ARP table under diagnostics should list the devices connected to your network. Look for the Pi's MAC address or hostname, and you should see its IP address right there.
Yeah, I see its IP address right there. This is really easy.
Perfect. Now you can use that IP address to SSH into the Pi and start configuring it as an access point. You're well on your way.
I probably don't remember my username and password.
No worries. If it's a fresh Raspbian install, the default username is usually Pi and the password is Raspberry. But if you've changed it before and can't recall, you might need to reflash the SD card.
Okay, would you say the default is it's Pi Raspberry?
Yes, typically the default login is Pi for the username and Raspberry for the password. If it hasn't been changed, that should work.
No capital letters.
Exactly, all lowercase. If that doesn't work, you can always check the documentation for your OS version.
Oh, that worked.
Awesome. Now that you're in, you can start configuring the access point. Have fun with it.
Okay, how do I configure the access point?
You'll want to install a package called host apt to handle the access point functionality. You can do that with sudo apt-get install host apt. After that, you'll need to configure the host apt config file with your desired network name and password.
So that's HOSTAPTD.
Close. It's host apt, all lowercase. Once it's installed, you'll create or edit the config file, usually located at etc hostapt.conf.
HOSTAPTD.
Exactly. That's the one. Once you've got it installed, you can open the config file and set your SSID, which is your network name and the passphrase for your Wi-Fi.
That exists in the Raspbian archives.
Yes, host apt is available in the Raspbian repositories, so sudo apt-get install host apt should work without any issues. If you run into any trouble, let me know.
Unable to locate package.
No worries. First, let's update the package list. Try running sudo apt-get update to refresh your package sources. Then, give the install command another shot.
Um, yeah, okay. I ran that already once. I'm gonna run it again. It says repository, Raspbian, Raspberry Pi, Raspbian Buster in release changed its sweet value from stable to old stable.
Ah, that means the repositories might be outdated. Let's try adding the Buster backports, Buster repository for newer packages. You can do that by editing your sources list or using sudo apt-get install Buster backports host apt.
Let's do the sudo apt-get one. That sounds easier.
Great. Run sudo apt-get install type Buster backports host apt. That should pull the package from the backports repository. Then we can move on to configuring it.
Can you spell out the part of the command after install?
Sure, it's type T Buster backports host apt. So the full command is sudo apt-get install type Buster backports host apt.
Wait, type TYPE?
Not quite. It's -t as in target. So sudo apt-get install type buster backports host apt.
So it's dash T space BUSTER forward slash BACKPORTS. Is that right so far? What comes after that?
Close. No forward slash. After -t, there's a space. Then buster backports altogether. The full command is sudo apt-get install type buster backports host apt.
It says value BUSTER BACKPORTS is invalid for APT default release as such a release is not available in the sources.
Got it. Let's try a different approach. You can manually add the backports repo to your sources list. Open the sources list with sudo nano /etc apt sources list, add debdebian.org/debian buster backports main, save, and then run sudo apt-get update again.
So what is it? Sudo nano and then what else?
It's sudo nano /etc apt sources.list. That will open the file for editing.
Okay, and then oh, what line do I add then?
Add this line at the end. Deb http debdebian.org/debian buster backports main. Then save the file by pressing Ctrl O and exit with Ctrl X.
So it was deb http colon colon and then what else?
After deb http, It's deb.debian.org/debian-buster-backports-made. Once you added that, save and close the file.
So deb.debian.org slash what?
After deb.debian.org/debian-buster-backports-main. So the full line is deb http://deb.debian.org/debian-buster-backports-main.
It says so for that one it says the following signatures couldn't be verified because the public key is not available.
All right, we can add the missing key. Run this command: sudo apt-key adv -keyserver-keyserver.ubuntu.com -receive keys 04 EE72374B79442C94442C94422D8. Then try updating again.
Where did that number came from that you just recited?
That number is the key ID for the Debian archive. It's used to verify packages from the Backports repository.
Can you make sure that's in our conversation history? I don't see it.
Sure. The command is sudo apt-key adv -keyserver-keyserver.ubuntu.com -receive keys 04 EE72374B79422A0F6B01FBB75442C. This key helps authenticate the Backports packages.
All right, I don't need conversational mode. I just need to see the commands typed out. So exiting conversation mode and typing out the commands here. Okay, there you go. You have to explicitly allow for release info changes. Okay, there we go. So now it's changed it. Rather than failing because it wasn't allowed to change it, now it can change it. So let's do a full system upgrade. All right, and then let's try to get that package. Oh, it's going to take 3 minutes, more like 4. Um, well, I guess I'll go off camera for that time. There's no reason just sitting here. All right, I'm back. So the 4 minute timer completed. It completed in a few seconds and then completed in 4 minutes, which is good. So things are going pretty quick. We got a change log readings at 35%. Not sure how long that'll take. There's no timer on that. So I guess I'll just wait a bit longer for that. I'll go off camera if it's taking too long. You can see it's stuck at that 35%. So now it's at 36, 37, 38, 39. So hopefully now it'll go faster. But I feel like this is going to take a long time. So let's just give it time. I'll go off camera. All right, I'm back. So less than 2 minutes later, we're good to go. It put us at a man page here. So this is just explaining the news for the changes here. So yeah, this is explaining the updates here. So we'll just skip that. Oh, but now we've got more to go. So I'll go off camera. All right, I'm back. So I'm out of time. Good news is we're at a good stopping point. This finished here. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one.